This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Now, I've seen Eddie Hearn and Big Baby Jarrell Miller, and I'll put it in the description box for you guys. Go have a watch for yourself, where it appears that Eddie Hearn is not necessarily backtracking on some of the things that he said, but he seemed a bit more open to sit down and have a chat with Miller and let bygones be bygones, I suppose, okay? Because right after Big Baby Miller failed the test, Eddie Hearn was saying, how can he do that? Anthony Joshua's my very good friend and blah, blah, blah. He went in there to try and kill Anthony Joshua. All these kind of things. I will never work with Big Baby Jarrell Miller again. He's a disgrace to the sport. He hasn't even properly apologised. And of course, he's saying about how Bob Arum and Frank Warren were trying to sign up Big Baby Jarrell Miller as well. He's going in on them. But going on this interview, it appears that a little bit of an inroads has been made between Eddie Hearn and Jarrell Miller, where Jarrell Miller is saying, listen, I made mistakes and I took wrong advice and things like that, and I want to come home, as in I want to come home to Eddie Hearn and DAZN and things like that. And Eddie Hearn was like, okay, fine, you know what, we'll sit down and we'll have a talk about it. So I don't quite know, or maybe Eddie Hearn was just intimidated in that one particular moment. I don't know. I mean, he ain't going to say, yo, Miller, jog on, will you? Because there's a very good chance Miller might just snap his neck. Okay, so maybe that was it, I don't know. Or is Eddie Hearn, is he acting a little bit two-faced? Maybe, potentially. But I think a lot of what people need to remember is that when Eddie Hearn was going in on Bob Arum and Frank Warren for potentially having Big Baby Jarrell Miller up, is the fact that the news hadn't long happened that Miller failed a PED test. And by the time it comes around now, is it in about a week or two's time, that'll be his suspension pretty much up. Okay, so we can apply for a license. So he's pretty much served any sort of ban. Not that he really received one. And as Eddie Hearn said there, what Jarrell Miller said there in, I made mistakes and I listened to the wrong advice. That's him admitting that he did something majorly wrong. So for the first time in Eddie Hearn's ears, if you like, that's the first admittance from Miller that he done something wrong, rather than blame it on an accident or whatever else it may be that he was doing before. So potentially, maybe these guys may end up working together again. It's unlikely for, I would imagine, at least the next couple of months. That's for sure. But Miller, he's a very, very likable guy. Okay, he's a funny guy. He's outgoing, and I think Eddie Hearn does have a soft spot for Miller. And well, I think he does. I know he does because he said it quite often when these guys working together, how much he really, really likes Miller. And a lot of people do when they speak to Miller as well. But I don't know. I mean, for me, I think if he does sign up with Eddie Hearn again, I don't think it'll be just yet. Or if he does, it'll be a case of, okay, fine, but you ain't getting the kind of money that you was getting before. In fact, you're going to pretty much start from ground up. Okay, so you're going to be fighting a David Price or a Dave Allen or something like that. Okay, you ain't getting in there with the top guys, and by the way, you will be registered with VADA right the way through, and then ultimately maybe get him a Derek Chisora fight, a Povetkin fight, a whoever, Joseph Parker, etc., Usyk, whatever else it may be. So for me, I can see these guys working together at some point, but just yet, potentially maybe, but as I said, I don't think that it'll be a case of sign up Miller and throw him straight in with a Joseph Parker. I don't see that at all. But hey, anyway, listen, it is what it is. So you guys drop your thoughts below about it. Do you think that Eddie Hearn should let bygones be bygones? Do you think these guys should work together again now? Do you think Miller, with his admittance that he did actually cock up, is that a case of, okay, so at least now we can move on from it? Or do you guys still hold a real bad grudge against Miller? Listen, for me, I'm easy either or. But you drop your thoughts below about it. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.